Os. Welcome UNLV students to the Shotokan Karate Studies program. By now you should know you've already warmed up, you've gotten the warm-up that you feel your body needs, you're adequate for starting the program this morning. So let's go ahead and get started with our typical, quick, general warm-up. Ready? And Hajime. Ichi. Ni. San. Yon. Go. All right, warmed up good there. Let's turn to the side, bring our heels to our glutes. Good, all right. Let's go ahead and do some high knees as well. Get my workout recorded, here we go. High knees. You can do this slow, just like I'm doing. Again, just bringing your knees up. You can do it fast if you feel like kind of bouncing a little bit, working your calves a little bit. Or if you want to go slow, go slow. And yame. All right, let's come up on our toes, stretching out our calves. And yame. Very good. All right, let's go ahead and do some body hip twists. And yame. Good. Arm up, across the side, stretching out our shoulder. Good, other side. Again, don't hold these too long. Just doing dynamic stretches here. Nothing too static, nothing being held for too long. Switching over. Other side. Good. Feet just widen shoulder width. Go down, touch the floor. Go to the right. Back to center. Go to the left. Back to center. All right, make that a little wider. We're gonna go down to the right, turning up on our left heel, stretching out our hamstring. Good, now we're gonna turn to the left in a long front stance. Pushing on the quad here, pushing the knee over the toe. And now to a runner stand, or a runner stretch. Good. Back up. All right, we're gonna do everything to the other side now. Leaning to the left onto the right heel. Toes pointed up. Stretching out your hamstring. All right, let's rotate that all the way around. Good front stance, long, deep, pushing on the quad, pushing the knee out over the toe, getting a good stretch. Transition that into a runner stretch. And come back to center, come back standing. Good. Turn around, fix your gi. Back to me. Yoi. Subirachi. Break. Yoi. Seiza. Dojo-kun. 一つ、人格完成に人を盛ること。一つ、誠の道を守ること。一つと力の精神を養うこと。一つ礼儀を重んずること。一つ景気の湯を戒めること。Ready? That's it. よい。すばらしい。Ready? よい。So today's class is an intermediate class, and what we're going to be looking at today is the kata Bassai. Alright, so this is one of my favorite katas, and what I'm looking at today is not necessarily the explanation of the kata. This is not a tutorial of the kata. I'm kind of giving you some tips and, I don't want to say tricks, but some tips on how to properly go through the kata, some corrections that I generally have to give out for this particular kata. Again, this is a very popular kata, and looking at some specific senseis, I'm kind of pulling from them, and as I always mention to you all, is that I always say to find your own karate, right? It depends on what sensei that you are learning from. It could depend on what association you're affiliated with, whether it's JKA or SCIF or whatever it happens to be. They may teach it a different way. There's going to be nuances between all the affiliations, between the dojos, right, and the way your sensei might teach this specific kata, the way I teach it, and the things that I generally correct is what I want to kind of go over today. All right, so I'm going to go through the kata step by step. We'll kind of go through some of the things that I always correct on and focus on. All right, and then we'll go through the entire kata from beginning to end. If we have time, it's going to depend. We might do something like a kata tabata with this particular kata. Again, just depends on what kind of time we have today. All right. So, talking about the kata in general. So this kata starts. You go through the normal protocol, right? We bow in. We come back to yoi or ready position. And we don't start the kata here, right? Typically, we would go into like hand shodan from here. Right? We turn and move, or we would go into hand nidan and immediately come into something like this. For this kata, you're going to come together in haisukurachi. So your feet are going to come together. Your open hand in the left, closed hand is the right. So right fist comes into the open hand of the left. All right. And here, one of the common mistakes that I see is people just taking a step forward and then doing this block, this supported block. Okay, so what you should be doing here is you should be allowing gravity to kind of pull you forward. It's almost like you're tipping forward, and then once you start tipping forward, you allow gravity to take you forward, right? So when we're here, you start tipping, and then gravity comes in. All right, a couple variations, okay? So here's how I start the kata. From here, I let gravity take me and move in. Okay, this is called storming the fortress, right? Bassai means storming the fortress or storming the castle. So it's a powerful opening. You're moving straight in against your opponent. All right. Another option here is some people lift their leg. Okay, so from here they may lift their leg. Okay, again, power moving forward. Everything is moving in one direction, moving forward. Okay, so if you do the leg thing, no problem. Continue with that same thing. Again, start to pull forward, lean and step. Okay, do not take your hand back here and then come across. Okay, that's opposing forces. right? Again, we're moving everything in this direction, okay? So don't do something like this. We'll pull and then come down and forward, okay? Move forward. So again, here, move forward, okay? The leg, okay? So some people that lift their leg, if you do that, if your school teaches that or your affiliation teaches that, the leg should come up and over to the side, okay? It's almost as if you are redirecting a kick or something that's coming towards you, okay? So from here, again, you would, as you're moving this over to execute this, the leg comes over at the same time. So again, here, you're going over, and there's the step down, okay? Landing in this kosodachi, right? This stance here, all right? That's the stance that you're going for. Stable, sturdy stance whenever you land this strike. This hand is flat. It is on the inside of the arm, like this. It's not down here by the elbow. It's not up here by your fist. It's right there. All right, and this fist is lower. It's about your jaw level. Okay, it's not up here. It's not in your eye. It's not in your eye line. It is down. Okay, and again, top of your knuckles, if you were to bring it back, is probably right there in your jaw. This is the strike. This is the block or strike. All right. From here, you're going to turn on this front foot. All right, on your right foot, turn directly here into this uchi-uke, going the other direction. All right, so let's take a look at that. So I've landed this. I'm going to move in that direction. All right. So what I'm trying to say is, what I'm trying to avoid you doing is stepping and then doing the block this way. All right. Use your body kind of like a rubber band, stretches and contracts and stretches and contracts. Okay. Use that fluid motion, that fluidity, everything being connected. Okay. So from this comes this. All right. Then your other block comes. Allow the hip drive to happen. So you saw my foot move just slightly there, right? This is the first block. You're in more of a hanmi this way. And now you're going to do your other block, more of a shomen, drawing this leg back, more of a shomen position. All right, let's look at that from here. So my block is here, turning on my front foot, on my right foot, block here, block here. Okay? From here, again, a couple of different ways to do this. I see a lot of different instructors teaching it a different way. I teach the arm going out. So, you're in this position. I go from here, okay, to prepare my sotoryuke. This arm is up. This arm is back. Again, it's just like you see a strike coming and you're kind of parrying it, pulling away, stepping into the sotoryuke. Uchi-uke. Again, allow the hip drive. So again, you're going to see that subtle movement of the foot, drawing that foot back. All right? So again, when we look at it from here, 1 and 2, sotoryuke. Uchi-uke. More shomen. Okay? Drawing that foot back slightly, giving you a little bit more power to this block. All right? From there, we scoop up and step. There's no pause here. Okay? This is not from here. You do not do this. All right? There's no pause. Again, remember the fluidity of what's happening, the expansion and contraction of that rubber band. Here is your block, your uchi-uke, sweeping under, stepping down. All right? So again, uchi-uke, shomen, sweeping under, stepping in. Again, this is a sotoryuke. It's coming from out to here. What do we always do when we do Sotoryuke? We parry, right? We've talked about that in other classes, that there's this parry before the block. There's a parry before a block, okay? That's what you're looking at here, is this quick parry, is this parry before the block. So, again, here, there's your block. Your other block comes now, right? What are we doing? More shomen and pulling in the right foot. Okay? And then you're just turning your body straight into a Shizentai position, a ready position, a natural position. Your feet are maybe just wider than shoulder width. It's almost a short kibidachi, right? Your feet are parallel and you're up. Okay? So again, just trying to line myself up. Here, you've made this Sotoryuke block, Uchiuke block, and now you come up to here. This foot doesn't move, this foot moves. Okay, your left foot stays stable as your anchor, your right foot moves into this natural position. Alright? And you're in this Kosodachi position. Or you're in this this position here. From here, your elbow doesn't come out and your hand, it's your hand. So from here, your hand moves out. Slow, good kime. Right? Then there's a punch and a block. Punch and a block. A lot of differences here. Here's one. This is the way that I do it. So, you've got your cup and saucer on this side. Your hand goes out. Punch, block, punch, block. Not much difference in my feet movement there, right? There's a little bit of turn and there's some slight knee torque applied, right? So again here, punch, block, punch, block. Some people make this a lot bigger, and that's okay. It's not wrong, but this is your other option. Okay, from here, punch, block, punch, block. More exaggerated, yes? It's almost a front stance going in this direction and a front stance going in this direction with the block. Okay, now there's a punch in between there, but yes, either one or both are acceptable, but my point here is the punch comes to the shoulder, block, punch, use your hips to drive yourself forward for the punch, up to the shoulder, block. All right? Punch, block, punch, block. If you want to exaggerate it, it's punch, block, punch, block. Whichever one is more comfortable for you, whichever one you feel gives you the most power, whichever one your sensei is currently teaching you, whichever one your association is currently teaching you as well, is the right thing to do there. All right? I'm telling you the way that I teach. Okay, so punch, block, punch, block. From here, you're moving on this line. Okay, it's like you have the camera directly in front of you. Your camera is your opponent. That's where I'm moving. Okay, punch, block, shuto, 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 shuto. All right, move straight down this line. Okay, punch, block, shuto. Okay, the shuto is going to go for here. Bring the right foot into the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So bring your right foot to your left foot. Don't step to the other foot. Okay. Right foot comes to the left, and then out. Okay. The fluidity. Okay. If you go through this kata slowly, you'll kind of notice what feels a little bit more fluid and not blocky and robotic. Okay, so after this punch and block, again, you're bringing this foot in, for that shuto. Okay? Don't step to here and do it, then you'd be wrong. But again, don't step across. Okay? This foot is on line. Okay? Punch, block. Bring it in, step. Move down this line. Okay? 3 shutos, that's 1, 2, a third. Come back for the 4th, you're now here. Now you're going to transition to a front stance. So your right leg is going to move over. At the same time, your right hand is going to come up and over here. All right? So shuto, come up and over. So it's reaching up and coming over. All right? This is what you're doing with your other hand. Kind of making a triangle. You see the triangle here? Triangle with your wrist. These 2 fingers touching this kind of, it's like it was made for your fingers to go there. To touch right there. All right? This is not like Kankusho where you're actually grabbing and pulling. Okay? This is just a touch. All right? A touch here. Bring it in to about here. Now you have this gap. Okay? With this gap, you want to fill this gap with your knee. All right? Practice that a few times. So again, you're at the shuto, stepping over to here, fill the gap. Fill the gap with your knee. All right? You've got the grip here, you've grabbed your opponent. So when you do this knee up, you're actually grabbing them. So you're almost like you have their gi or their body. All right? So you have them here, you're going to grab up into the knee. Bring your knee up in between. Okay, here. Up in between this area. All right? So try that a few times. Make sure you're bringing your knee up. This is not a out and twist. Don't do that. All right? You're not showing your opponent your butt cheek. Right? We're not doing that. We're not doing this. Up here. Here, down. Okay? Pull your hands up. Okay? Like you're doing this. Pull your hands up to here. Alright? So again, gotta hold. Knee comes up in between. Pull. Okay? Pull. Alright? Once that kick is landed, you're in the other direction with the Shotokan. Right, so I'm going to turn around. So again, the grab, the knee comes up, pull, shuto. All right, then another Shotokan, still moving in this line. And now you're going to bring this foot back to your left to here. As your hands come up. Now it's as if you're blocking a bear hug. As if someone's coming at you like this. You are blocking it out. And then your knee comes up as you step forward with this. Now, a couple of different ways to do this or think about this. You're either striking the sides, okay, like this on someone, or double punching. And it's up to you to make that decision based on your affiliation, based on your sensei, right? Once you're here, you've broken this bear hug potential that's coming in, break it there. Or break it, punch. Then another punch. Okay? Oizuki punch, Chudan level, moving forward. Alright? You'll see me do this and it almost you'll hear like a double stomp almost. But it's really just me moving forward twice. Number one, I have to lift my leg. 1, 2. So you hear my right foot come down hard twice. Okay? So again, come up, break this. 1, 2. Then you do the manji-uke. Alright? So let me turn around again. Manji-uke. first strike down. This hand is blocking your face, protecting your face as you strike. And then this hand comes up across your face. Okay, you blocked here. Don't just pull like this. Don't just pull it back and up. Strike. Come over your face. All right. Again, this is very important to protect. Yes, your head and your face. You've done this strike. Come up. This hand should be up. You're here. Now you're going for this gate on. Yes, so this hand should stay up as long as possible as you make this next technique. Okay, this foot turns, comes down at the last minute, the last second. You should be on a good kibidachi to here for this gate on. Now comes the haisukudachi. So here, you made this block, now you're turning in this direction. A couple of different options here. I wrap myself up for this, haishiuke. All right. Others will turn it straight out to go from this, get straight out there. Again, it's going to depend on your sensei, your affiliation. Gate on, wrap, hand goes out slow, good kime. Take your time thinking about the technique. Okay? All right. Next comes this kick, this mikitsuki geri. So again, from here, you're taking your right foot and kicking your hand. Okay? Let's do that where you can see it a little bit. Trying to think of the best way to do it without having my back to you. So I'm going to do it here. All right, so you're at your haisukudachi. All right, haishiuke, sorry, kibidachi, haishiuke. Good kibidachi stance here, right? We just landed this great block. Wrap yourself up, come out. Okay, mikitsuki geri, right foot to left hand, elbow strike. Okay, so make this elbow strike count. Add that hip movement. Okay, so kick, drive your hip, drive your hip. Still good kibidachi stance. The kick, hit your hand, then the elbow strike, drive your hip. Okay? Don't make it flat. So don't kick and then you're here and then do this. Okay? That's flat. I want you to avoid just doing that flat. Don't do that flat elbow strike. Use your hip drive from the kick to drive that elbow. Okay? From here. Okay? Drive that elbow. Now there's 3 punches, strike, blocks. Okay? Elbow strike. 1, 2, 3. That's the count. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, there's a slight pause between the 1 and the 2. The 2 and the 3, hand in hand. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Here, I bring my fist to the, like I'm punching my bicep almost. 1, 2, 3. Others will take their hand on top. Like, so this part here is resting on the, not your bicep, but maybe you're between your bicep and your tricep. Here. 1, 2, 3. Depends on where you are, your school, your sensei, what you're going to do. Okay, so you made the turn, you made the elbow strike. 1, 2, 3, or elbow strike. 1, 2, 3. Up to you. You make your decision. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Next thing you do is you make a turn to the right. From here, from this great kibidachi that you're in, I want you to just bring your hands to here, koshigamai. So elbow strike. 1, 2, 3, hands to here. When your hands come to here, turn into this stance, this front stance. It's a modified front stance, right? Because you're not very wide, right? Because you're here. You're in this keep it out stance. So your feet are, this foot's directly in front of this one if you're turning this direction, right? This foot's directly behind this one. So whenever you make this turn, you can draw that foot over just a little, okay? And I suggest that you do to keep your balance, but here to there. Mountain punch, Yamazuki, right? There should be this curvature. This is helping block your face and your head as you punch here, okay? So don't do, not this, right? This is not Hadouken from Street Fighter, okay? It's this, come up, a little bit of twist here, let me face you, so a little bit of twist. I'm pulling back to the right, so my twist is coming this direction to the right. But my strikes are linear. My strikes are going straight to this exact same place every time. Directly in front of me, my camera, my opponent. Here, leg up, Yamazuki. Now I'm going left side, slight turn. Hips are drawn back a little bit. This hip is more forward than this hip. Knee up, Yamazuki. Okay, that's your third and final. After this, you do this turn. Okay, again, remember the fluidity. Feel your body moving here. Don't make clunky robotic steps. Right? So let me turn this way. Third Yamazuki. Sweep under, strike down. It doesn't have to come from up here. It doesn't come from up here and down. And then this one doesn't come from up here and down. It's fluid. Get there quickly. Yes? Okay? So from that Yamazuki, hand sweeps down, block. Same thing again. Be efficient here. 1, 2. 1, 2. Again, no need for 1, 2. There's too much flair there. All right, we're not doing Paul Mitchell karate. We're doing what makes sense. Okay, so it's kind of like a sweep and then a strike, sweeping, block away, and strike. Parry, okay? As if you're parrying and then making this strike. Parry, make the strike. Parry, make the strike. Do you see the transition with the feet? It's almost like this punch at the beginning. Okay? All right, so watch that transition. Okay? It's fairly simple. You just, when you think about how everything flows, and you think about how things repeat in kata, right? This is one of those katas where there's hardly any repeat at all. But stances still make sense. Okay? So whenever you do this, these two things, it's very similar to what we did at the beginning. You make this, you're going to step into this foot for your back stance and your Shotokan. All right. So typically I'm here, 1, 2, step in, Shuto. All right. Stepping in, moving in a 45 degree off of this. Okay. This is your flat line. 1, 2, move 45 degrees. 1. This foot is just, it's almost as if your toe is gliding across the floor to here. Throwing the Shuto in this direction, but looking over your left shoulder. This is still Shuto-uke, this is still Kakutsudachi back stance. Throwing the Shuto this direction, looking over the left shoulder. Okay? It's from here. Nothing happens with your hand. You're not throwing another Shuto. It is just a glide motion. Looking over the left shoulder. Shuto-uke is going in this direction. Back stance is still proper, as if everything is happening here, but you're looking here. Right foot comes to left. Shuto-uke, ki-ai point. Alright? That's the entire kata step by step with as many pointers as I can offer. Okay, so again, like I said, it's going to depend on your sensei. It's going to depend on your affiliation. But if you look at John Gardner, if you look at Tetsuya Naka, okay, some really great senseis that I know you've heard their names, if you go and watch them do their kata, Bassai, they're going to offer you some of these same principles, some of these same pro tips, all right, that are going to be these number one options, right? So John Gardner may have some slight variations from Tetsuya Naka, but what I'm asking you to do always, even for me, is to pull some variation and say, I like what he does here, but I like what he does over there. So instead of doing what he does at that point, I'm going to do what he does at that point. But I'm going to do what he does at this point and what he does at this other point. Okay? Make it your own. What works for your body, what works for your style, what works for your format, what works for your body mechanics, the way your ankles turn, the way your knees work. Okay? I want you to really focus on that and making, again, your own karate, forming your own karate. Okay? Even if you're going to competition, right? That's where things are going to get specific, right? If it's a JKA sponsored event or SKI sponsored event, there's going to be some variation that you're going to have to be very specific on, because then you'll get dinged for little things like, well, this is the way we do it in JKA, so you have to do it this way. You want to get into these more freestyle competitions where there's Weidu Ryu and Shotokan and Shita Ryu. There's a lot of variation, even though the kata is named the same. The way that these three martial artists do them are going to be completely different, right? So just take that into consideration, that just because you do things a certain way, right, whenever you start your kata, because you lift your leg and then come out, versus someone who just goes straight into, all right? Just because you do that or you don't do that, it's not wrong, all right? Both are correct and both are acceptable. So I don't want you to get to silo yourself into one thing and say, well, this is the way we have to do it because this is the way we have to do it, okay? If you have an affiliation, yes, there's going to be that siloing, and you're going to have to stick to that siloing if you're going to do competition, if you're looking at belt ranks or looking at testing and things like that. Outside of that, you should be looking at what's best for you, okay? All right, I hope that makes sense, and I hope that we have gone through that enough that you can kind of understand it. All of that stated, let's do the kata, okay? So I'm going to go through the kata from beginning to end. Let's do it twice, just because we don't have enough time to do the Tabata, but we do have enough time to go through the kata twice, all right? So let's do that. So I'm going to find my spot. This is a good starting spot for me. Find a good starting spot for you. I'm not going to go by the numbers here. This is where I want you to just look at all those little tips that I just gave you and go through the kata at your own speed and pace, finding out those little nuances that we just talked about, all those little tips and tricks that maybe you haven't done, maybe you had thought about, and maybe I clarified something for you today. All right, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to go slow because I want to think about each movement when I go through it. Second time, I'll speed it up a little bit, but this first time, just go slow, thinking about each technique, good kime, all right? This is one of those things we talked about before. The things that will make your kata great are going through your kata slowly, because when you go through it slowly, you tend to think about each technique a little bit more. You tend to think about your stance a little bit more, and you tend to pick up on little things, little mistakes that maybe you wouldn't pick up on if you're just trying to get through the kata as fast as you can. Because that's a big mistake that a lot of people do is, I'm going to do Bassai, ready, 1, 2, 3, here we go, and you start moving and you do it and you're done. And you don't pick up on all the little mistakes and all the little miscues and all the little places where your stance was off just a little bit because you're rushing through the kata. So let's take our time and go through this thinking about it. Okay? Ready? Yoi! Surachi. Ready? Yoi! Let's start it! Your own speed and pace. And Hajime. A few seconds to finish your kata. And yame. All right, good. If you're still going, just go through my talking here. All right, so hopefully going through it a little slower might help you pick up on some things that we just talked about, okay? I noticed it a little bit with mine, a little bit of things I didn't do that I just told you to do. So again, going through it slow helps you pick out those little mistakes maybe that can be fixed, okay? Again, I noticed 2 or 3 spots where I didn't practice what I preached, okay? So let's try it again, all right? This time, your own speed and pace again. Try to speed it up a little bit. If you don't feel comfortable speeding up and you just want to take it slow again, by all means, okay? But go through the kata again. All right, let's go through it together. Ready? Your own speed and pace, so don't listen for my count. Don't worry about my ki points versus yours. Just go through the kata. All right, ready? Yoi, Sudachi, ring, Yoi. Announce kata. Bassai. Your own speed and pace. Hajime. Take your time, keep going. And yame. All right, very good. All right, so again, that's what we had time for today. Go through the kata step by step. I knew it was going to take a while. I didn't think it would take as long as it did, but I start talking and I can't shut up. So, hopefully, going through the tips helped you change a little something or pick up on a little something. When we went through the kata twice here at the end of class, we didn't get to go through a Tabata, but if that's something you're interested in, maybe we'll do that for the advanced class this week. So Friday's class, let's do a kata Tabata for Bassai. All right, just kind of carry this through, and for you students who are intermediates, gives you a chance to jump into that advanced class, kind of get used to doing that on Fridays, see what that's like. All right, let's come back together, center of class, yoi, subarachi, ring, yoi, seiza. All right, today's meditation, just breathe. All right, I just want you to pull your heart rate down, slow your breathing, focus on your breathing, calm your body and your breath and your mind after doing kata. So. So you may, since in your way. Tate. Yoi. Subarachi. Ring. Yoi. Os. Alright students, thank you for joining me for this class today. You're getting these pro tips on Bassai. We'll see you in the next class, hopefully on Friday. Os.